But one question for some of our viewers who are watching this and are Christians, they're hearing this and they're wondering, okay, so what should Christians' view on truth be, and how do we find that?
Yeah, good. So, like I said, I think there's, in my view, two kinds of sources of thinking about truth. At least two. One for Christians, at least, is Scripture. Now, I think I may have missed what you said about, like, if someone is not a Christian in thinking about this, or
if they are a Christian, yeah.
If someone is a Christian, yeah. So I think starting with Scripture as the, you might say, the rule of truth, like the guide, the ruler, or the measure of truth, right? It's, if something is revealed to us by God, it's true, you know. So and Scripture is. So now again, you might want to argue for that or have an apologetic for that as well, and I think Christians should do that. But philosophically speaking, if I think about the natural revelation or general revelation, or, you know, common grace, if you want to put it that way, then I think to think about truth, you just start with simple cases and build your account of truth from there. Sometimes philosophers call this epistemic particularism. It's a fancy term for saying just start with common sense experience and build your description of truth from the actual experiences of truth that you have. So I think it's kind of like this. Everyone has had this type of experience. You form a belief about the world. You go and look at the world, and you see that your belief corresponds or matches the way the world is, right? So, for example, let's say you spill some popcorn. You're having some popcorn during one of these interviews, you know, in your office or whatever, or in your apartment. You spill some popcorn. You text your roommate, "Hey, where's the broom? I need to sweep it up." Your roommate texts you back, "The broom is in the closet." So now you're sitting on the couch. You form the belief the broom is in the closet. You get up. You walk over to the closet. You open the door, and you see the broom in there. And that experience is an experience of truth, because you have a belief or a concept, or it's even in a statement like on your phone. You go over and you see the reality that the statement is about, and then you see that the reality and the statement match each other. They correspond to each other. They're isomorphic in their qualitative their qualities, right? The thought is about one thing, and the reality is that thing. And when the about the thing and the reality thing match, that's the truth. And the truth is there even while I'm going to look for the broom, right? It's still there, and I'm just now becoming aware of it. So we could talk about some more of those distinctions, but my view is that you give an account of truth simply from the experience we have of it. That's how we know what truth is, and that's how we see it in ordinary experiences. There's even scriptural examples of this, right? Jesus tells his disciples, "Look, you're going to go into this town. You're going to find someone there's going to be a donkey tied up. Get that donkey, bring it back," right? They go in, they form a belief. There's a donkey here. They walk into town. They look, they see the donkey. They see, oh, this belief is true. It matches reality. And they go on their way. So I don't know. That might not be robust theology of truth from that scriptural verse, but it's a clearly common sense case of finding the world as it's thought to be.
I think that's helpful because, like you said, I think we've all had that experience. I think just formulating that way, that like we form the belief, and that when you go and you see that it is the way that you believed it, that is an experience of truth.